Greetings all. Thanks, as always, for being a part of the program. We'll be checking in on your weather, and as we always do, but finding out about some really serious lightning and thunder during sunshine. That's right. It's been a rather odd afternoon for a lot of folks, but some others getting in on the shower activity as well. We've got the chance for more of the same over the next several days. You know the drill. We've been talking about it now for, well, the week, and we're still looking at the same forecast for the week ahead. A busy day here at the newsroom today. We will cover tonight, in part, a fatal auto accident in McGoffin County this morning. A sad story of a young man from Johnson County expecting his first child along with his newly wed wife, coming home from work very early to be with his family, and he lost control of his pickup truck. We'll show you the scene, tell you what happened, and have his identity in just a few moments. It was called Operation Junebug. I tagged along as the Johnson County Sheriff's Department yet again continues to set the bar in regards to drug roundups in eastern Kentucky and the viewing area. And I have literally just in and just highlighted, we'll get it on tonight in as much depth as possible, the final ruling and fact of findings and conclusions of law and judgment handed down by the Honorable Kim Childers, Circuit Court Judge, in regards to the recount that is still ongoing. Well, the recount not necessarily, but the election still ongoing, as we are still expecting an appeal in the matter. But there is some finality in her ruling. I will tell you that and what her findings were in regards to all the numbers and other details. And the McGoffin County Board of Education, which meets this evening, has some food for thought. They've been able to crunch the numbers the bids are in. I'll give you a glimpse as to what they're going to be looking at and discussing this evening. That's what we're going to have time for. My apologies. I had great intentions on talking to someone about the Relay for Life in McGoffin County. It's tomorrow evening, and that was one of several things, as important as it was, that I just did not get back in town in time to do this evening. So we'll have a reminder for you. And, of course, we'll be venturing down, but the Relay for Life is tomorrow evening here in McGoffin County. We will talk about that to some degree, in just a few moments, as well as calendar and other announcements. First off, let's talk about the young man who lost his life in McGoffin County early this morning. We have some details, a partial funeral arrangement listing, which has been made in his honor at the Phelps & Son Funeral Home. And we also have some video from the scene and details about the death of 24-year-old Jason N. Blair of Paintsville. The American flag flying half-staff over the W.R. Castle Fire and Rescue Department, where Blair had been a member since the young age of 16. He passed away at the age of 24 early this morning in McGoffin County after losing control of his pickup truck and being ejected from the vehicle. McGoffin County Squad Captain Carter Conley tells us about rescue efforts and their discovery.
Approximately about 6:09 this morning, 911 received a call of an accident on High School Hill, across over into Gardner Branch on the Mountain Parkway. And on arrival of rescue and EMS, ambulance personnel, I found a subject had been ejected from a pickup truck. Apparently he's coming up the hill, lost control, and flipped end over end, and he was ejected, obviously not wearing a seatbelt. The subject was deceased on our arrival, and waited on KSP and McGoffin County Coroner to arrive on the scene and continue their investigation.
He leaves behind family and friends wondering undoubtedly how what appears to be such a simple accident could have proved to be fatal. It's believed that had he had his seatbelt on, this story would have had a different ending this evening. Nevertheless, we understand that Blair, who had been a member of the W.R. Castle Fire Department since, as I said, the age of 16, alongside his uncle and brother, was working in Louisville. A contractor, he got called out last night after a power outage. We are told that he got off the job, according to statements from the family to rescue personnel, around 1 o'clock this morning, and he called his family after doing so to say that he didn't have to work the next day, today, and that he was going to go ahead and come on in and drive home. It's understood that he checked out of his hotel room around 2 o'clock this morning, telling his family that he'd be home around 5:30 to 6. Another gentleman on his way to work this morning in the Breathitt County area saw the truck, got out, and then found Blair's body close to it. He'd been ejected, rescue personnel believe, in midair as the vehicle was barrel rolling down the side of the Mountain Parkway. It landed on its tires, headed in the opposite direction. Skid marks and disturbance in the grassy area indicates that the vehicle rolled and skidded a total of more than 200 feet, and that Blair also, we are told, died of massive head trauma. We're also told that the young man had been married since the month of April. He and his newlywed wife were expecting their first child, she 5 months pregnant. I did make a stop at the fire department earlier today to talk with some of his fellow firemen about his service and his overall attitude. We didn't get to speak to anyone directly. We were still extending that invitation, but we have learned that he was a very well-respected young man in and throughout his community and area. And as I said, I do have a partial funeral service listing for Mr. Blair coming up in just a few moments. For now, I'll be right back after these words. Cruise on in your Sayersville Dairy Queen because we've got s'more for you. That's right, everybody's favorite summertime treat is back as the blizzard of the month in a cup, waffle cone, or a royal shake. And now get original Julius's and smoothies in strawberry lemonade. It's where you can always get a burger basket or fries from open to close every day, and breakfast 6 to 11 Monday through Thursday and till noon on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at your Sayersville DQ. Wheel alignments, oil changes, brakes, suspension work, and tires. Thousands of tires by all the major manufacturers, all in stock and at incomparable prices. All backed with 33 years of service and experience, the area's largest tire selection, and 6 months no interest at Conley's in Paintsville.
Your teams must go immediately. It's Hot Chevrolet's triple bonus employee pricing. That means for a limited time, buy any new 2014 GM vehicle at Hot employee pricing. Plus, 1, you get to keep the rebates. 2, a free family beach vacation. And 3, get 2 years free maintenance. Triple bonus employee pricing. Only at Hutch Chevrolet Buick GMC in Paintsville, Kentucky. Or at HutchChevrolet.com.
At the end of every race, Mark Martin hangs up his driving gloves. He hangs up his fire suit. And he hangs up his helmet. Which is why he picks up his phone and opens the ER Extra app. The app shows ER Extra wait times, locations, and more. It's the one safeguard Mark Martin is never without. ER Extra at Paul B. Hall Regional Medical Center. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
Enjoy your fun in the summer sun even more with festive settings of the season from the seasonal shop that look good enough to eat themselves. Monogrammed and summer flags of every shape, size, and shade of summer, and other ways to say, welcome, friends. And just in, new and already classic designs by Ethel and Myrtle, ladies, all at Fraser's Prater Drug Seasonal Shop, just down from the drugstore and the Radio Shack. Brand new to the viewing area, but a family-owned power sports business since 1964. M&M Power Sports on New 460 in Staffordsville is loaded with Kawasaki and Polaris ATVs and side-by-sides and savings, rebates, and financing to put you in control of your next adventure with parts, accessories, a full test riding facility on site, and professional service for every make and model at Kentucky's Power Sports Authority. M&M Power Sports on New 460 in Staffordsville.
Have you ever noticed how many insurance commercials and advertisements are on television nowadays? You can't watch your favorite program without seeing a little pig or green lizard trying to sell you insurance and get your money for their premiums. But let me ask you this. If you have been in a serious wreck, do you really think that you are in good hands of the insurance companies when you have lost wages, medical bills, and pain and suffering from your head to your toes? The answer is no. If you want to truly be in good hands, give me a call. I'm attorney Donald Wayne McFarland. Let me put my 20 years of experience in working to protect the rights of injured people to work for you. 349-9000.
John set out this morning with 10 arrest warrants for trafficking in controlled substances, specifically hydrocodone, oxycodone, and Suboxone, which supposedly was to be to help wean individuals off of drugs and their habit. So far, out of those 10 individuals, 5 are in custody, others still being sought after, some with as many as 8 warrants for themselves. A few were considered to be persistent felony offenders and possibly will see serious time as a result of their latest crimes. Months ago, Sheriff Dwayne Price told us here in the program that he and his deputies had vowed to try to do a roundup a month for the remainder of his term, however long the community and public sees fit for that to be. This evening, we'll talk about those who were arrested, and we'll also talk with Sheriff Dwayne Price and one of his deputies. Today, talking about their motivation to continue the job that they're doing, to fight the good fight, so to speak. One they know that they will never win entirely, but it's also one that they know they have to continue. For those who need help, they say, to get off of drugs, to put those and keep those behind bars who don't want help, for the safety of others, especially for our children.
We're calling this one Operation Junebug, and the bug being is they don't know who we got bugged and who we don't. We get a lot of input from our community. Actually, we had some input while we were out today. A lady stopped by and told us that she appreciated what we were doing. We get a lot of our tips. I'd say 90% of our tips come from the community. And the community tell us they're sick of it. And as long as we hold this office, we're going to continue to hammer on these folks that want to operate on the opposite side of the fence. In our county, every complaint that we get, I'd say 95% of every complaint we get comes back to a drug. If it's a theft, it's usually somebody stealing, to feed their addiction. So everything, even your domestics, a lot of those come right back to drugs.
Well, each situation is different. There are some people that, good people sometimes make poor judgment. Sometimes they do things that they shouldn't do. And some situations, people need treatment. They need some help with that. Of course, there's others that it's just a cycle. It's just a way of life for them. And those people need to be dealt with more harshly. What the answer is, I'm not sure. That's probably the million-dollar question. I think that's something that the whole country, I know Kentucky as a whole, is struggling with. It's a problem. It takes the entire community to try to battle with this. A lot of families are having to deal with tough situations.
A lot of them are repeat. You in the drug community, most of these places got 6, 7, 8, 10 people living in there, and they're all selling either out of that residence, or out of their car, or they'll meet somebody at the plaza or at the mouth of the holler. But when you're using audio video equipment, it doesn't really matter where they sell.
Well, it's heartbreaking. As a father, you can't help but be affected by it. It's sad to think that that parents would put their children in this type of a situation. I just can't imagine that. It's very sad, and that's one reason why we battle this so much. It's just it affects the home unit, the family unit as a whole, and it's just that much more motivation for us to try to do something, try to make a difference, and try to derail this thing that's going on.
I didn't have all the photographs as of airtime, but those arrested earlier today were Heather F. Stambo, more than one count, James Douglas Daniels, Elizabeth G. Keynes, Bobby Estep, and Dwayne C. Salyer, all of the Johnson County area. Those still being sought after, listed as Beverly Sherman, Sue Ellen Also Brooks, Nanny K. Montgomery. There were also 2 other individuals whose warrants had not been signed as of airtime or per the roundup time this morning. Those will be added to the list a little later on. Here's tonight's calendar announcements brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. And it kicks off with birthday wishes. A happy 64 to Johnny Lovely from your family and friends. The whole lot of love, and a happy sweet 16 to Jaron Connor Lovely, with, I'm assuming, the same family and friends. Well, same family, maybe a few different friends. Happy birthday, guys. Happy birthday to you. And a special birthday wish tonight to Deborah Keaton. Says, I want to wish a dear friend and former co-worker, Deborah Keaton, a happy 59th birthday. Hugs from Joyce. Happy birthday to Deborah.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Hey, another reminder that the Stinson United Baptist Church is having a big yard sale tomorrow and Saturday by the Sayersville Dairy Queen, and this is your invitation, big yard sale. And most importantly, please remember that the Relay for Life is tomorrow night in Magoffin County at North Magoffin Elementary. Still have it backwards. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. tomorrow. Please come and support our survivors and loved ones. Always great entertainment, great food, a great time, and the greatest of causes. Relay for Life is tomorrow night in Magoffin County. You still have time, parents, to register your children, ages 3 and 4, for Head Start in Magoffin County. Call 349-3488 if you wish to do so. Get an application. You can always stop by the office. And you can always stop by the newsroom with your birthday or anniversary or club or organizational announcement. They're free. And you can also mail it, phone it, fax it, email it, Facebook it. Any way you can get it here on a paper airplane. I don't care. We'll put it on, let everyone know what you or your organization has planned. Funeral services brought to you by friends and family at the Magoffin County Funeral Home, beginning with services to be held tomorrow in honor of Larry Gray Carpenter, 68, of Sayersville. Larry passed away on Tuesday of this week. He's survived by his wife, Pamela Reisner Carpenter, sons Larry G., known as Bubby, and Ricky Carpenter, and daughter Jackie Markland, and stepson Bradley Darnell. Visitation continues this evening, and prior to services, they start tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. From the Sayersville Church of Christ. Burial will follow at the Bluegrass Cemetery in Sayersville. And services are also going to be held tomorrow in honor of 73-year-old Beverly Arnett Pelfrey of Pine Point Drive here in Sayersville, preceded in death by her husband James and sons William and James. She is survived by her daughter Heather Jordan and a host of family and friends. Funeral services for Beverly Rose are going to be held tomorrow at 1 o'clock from the chapel of the Sayersville Funeral Home. Burial will follow services in the Howard Cemetery in Ivanton. Visitation continues this evening in honor, once again, of Beverly Arnett Pelfrey of Pine Point Drive here in Sayersville. And I don't have the graphics to accompany, but I do have a partial listing for 24-year-old Jason N. Blair of Paintsville, who passed away this morning in Magoffin County in the before-mentioned auto accident. Arrangements are incomplete at this time, but they will be announced later by the Phelps & Son Funeral Home of Paintsville. Faster, friendlier, family-owned Parkway Pharmacy, open 8:30 till 6:30 Monday through Friday in the new Magoffin Medical Plaza under the care of local pharmacist Jesse Rudd. To make Parkway Pharmacy your pharmacy, come by or give us a call at 349-4400. Just as warm and as inviting as the colors of spring are the smiles of those who offer long-term nursing care needs and short-term rehabilitation, all with a standard of excellence and a tradition of caring. At your home away from home, Sayersville Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Frito Rocks is more than just gravel. They've got mulch in red, brown, and black, river rock in 4 different sizes, new rainbow rock for an entirely new landscape feature, metal and double wall plastic pipe, masonry sand, and rock, every size from DGA to 57s to class 2 and 3. And they have delivery and excavation and dozer services. And special hours Monday through Friday, 4:30 till 9 p.m. and Saturdays 9 till 4. For orders, call Frito Rocks on Route 7 at 496-7776.
Appalachian Wireless has the latest technology in wireless with the most affordable price. It's the new Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini. This phone does it all in a brand new size. It has expandable memory with up to 64 gigabytes, a great 8-megapixel camera with flash and autofocus. It even has a front-facing camera for Google Hangout. The Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini. Buy one at $49.99. Get the second one for only a penny when you sign up for service. Appalachian Wireless. Better service, bigger savings.
You can be playing, relaxing, and enjoying your brand new lifestyle in just days with one call to Baker's Pool Supply. Over 38 years of professional installation at affordable prices on above-ground and in-ground swimming pools. Or if you're ready to open your pool for the season, you need a new liner, a solar cover, some parts, or the best in BioGuard chemicals or salts, Baker's is your full-service answer, serving all of Kentucky and surrounding states with complete satisfaction, and they offer financing. 800-633-7102 or bakerspoolsupply.com. Premier Auto is all about what's here and now. A 2011 Camry, now $13,950. A 2013 Optima, now $19,450. An 011 Kia Soul, just $15,950. And a Dare to Compare 2011 GMC Sierra, $13,950 at Premier Auto in Paintsville. Sagersville National lets you go mobile with their new banking app. That's right, you can view your account and balance, transfer money, pay bills, and yes, deposit checks right from your phone from wherever you are. Just download the Sagersville National Bank app on your Android, iPad, iPhone, or other device. Any phone that can connect to the internet has the capability, and you can start saving time and money today with Sagersville National Bank's new mobile app. Wherever you are, we're there for you at Sagersville National Bank. After this next report, I do have the official findings of fact, conclusions of law, and official judgment, as was reported and returned today by Kim Childers, Circuit Judge of Magoffin and Knott Counties. We'll tell you what her findings were in just a few moments, as I still have a few things to put together. For now, let me give you a glimpse as to what the Magoffin County Board of Education and Superintendent of Schools will have to discuss this evening. As it's expected, they will be awarding at least some bids for the construction of the to-be new Magoffin County High School. In a follow-up from the report that I had day before yesterday on the bids that were officially opened, more than 40 contractors and more than 30 different bids, different alternates, a base bid, and a lot of numbers to compute. And the Board of Education has done so over the past a little less than 48 hours now. The first option you see here was detailed per documents I have in front of me as option A. This would be the base bid only. This would be for the school itself, coming in at just over $18.7 million. That, of course, is on top of the nearly $7 million that's been spent on the site and infrastructure and other items thus far. Option A, the base bid only, the lowest bid coming in at $18,745,000. Now, keep in mind that base bid represents paving and general trades, masonry, steel, roof, drywall, windows, paint, everything it takes to build the high school itself. And each of those bids, of course, won by a variety of different contractors that we just simply don't have time to itemize. Option B, as will be presented to the Magoffin County Board of Education this evening, will be the base bid, as I just outlined, plus alternate number 1, that being the gymnasium in its entirety, the school building, all the classrooms associated with it, and the gymnasium. That combined bid came in lowest at $23,918,550.25. That being for the base bid for the gymnasium and building, but both structures to be completed in their entirety. And option C, as will be presented before the Board of Education, is basically the base bid minus the gymnasium, but with all of the other alternates. Those alternates would be a variety of things: the tennis courts, the track, everything else that it would take to complete the entire wish list of projects for that site. That bid coming in at $19,571,000 and some change, about $750,000 more than just the base bid of the building itself. This bid in particular leaves out the gymnasium. Now, I spoke with Superintendent of Schools Stanley Holbrook, and he says what they'll be considering tonight is rebidding the gymnasium. He says the lowest bid came in, but there were some issues with the bid, and it looks as though the only fair and honest way to do it would be to rebid that project. He says they will discuss the possibility tonight of going on and bidding out everything else that will allow them to have 60 to 90 days to rebid the gymnasium. That also gives them a little bit extra window to secure those 3 alternate funding sources that he mentioned night before last, which they still have every intention on receiving per information that has been given to them thus far. But this is all still preliminary, as it will be discussed per the school board meeting tonight, and we'll have details of that meeting later. I have literally just enough time to highlight and bring to you in the following fashion a judgment, a findings of fact and conclusion returned just this afternoon by Circuit Judge Kim Childers in regards to the recount which was requested by Charles Doc Harden, Magoffin County Judge Executive, who before was trailing by 3 votes to H.B. Arnett, who had received, per the local board of elections on election night and after a recanvass, the Democratic nomination. She outlines details beginning with the election itself, going on to the recanvass, and specifically the count of paper absentees, which, to put it mildly, she says, and everyone agrees there were a few indiscrepancies. Turning to the case, it begins with just simple outlines declaring that, as we had reported, the election was separated by the margin of 3 votes, as I just mentioned, that a recanvass was requested on behalf of Charles Doc Harden on May the 29th, and it resulted with the same numerical results. And then after that there was a recount also requested on behalf of Harden and counsel. It began with, as she outlined, as I reported to you the evening following the recount itself, but it began with, as she also recounts in her fact of findings, that the court began the recount with administering the oath to Renee Arnett Shepard, the McGoffin County clerk, who testified that the machines and ballots had been in her custody and control since the election and confirmed their integrity according to Kentucky law, that both manual tabulation and the scanner showed that 93 votes for H.B. Arnett for the paper ballots was what was indicated by the machine, and 178 votes for Charles Doc Harden, for a total of 271 paper ballots with 4 undervotes. Now, those numbers were what were rendered through the recount process, and they were, as I told you earlier, contradictory to the numbers that were rendered during election night and the recanvass. Both the manual tabulation and the scanner during the recount showed 93 votes for H.B. Arnett, 178 for Harden, a total of 271 votes, and 4 ballots which were undervotes or not marked for either one of the Democratic judge candidates. The detail, in fact, and findings goes on to say that the initial tabulation on election night, though, differed, that it showed 94 votes for Hayden H.B. Arnett and 173 for Charles Doc Harden, and that the machine also showed on election night 9 undervotes. That being that on election night and for the recanvass, the machine indicated there were 9 paper absentee ballots which had not been declared, or the absentee voter had not chosen a Democratic judge candidate. That number of 9 for the election night and the recanvass changed to 4 during the recount process. And as a result of that, her finding was that the court concludes that it cannot direct the McGoffin County Board of Elections to issue a certificate of nomination due to the difference in the absentee vote count between the initial count on election night and the statutory recount conducted by the court. It also further says the court is of the opinion that there is no reason for delay and that this is a final order and judgment. Now, with that said, I spoke with a representative for H.B. Arnett, who obviously has no intentions and no need to file an appeal. He being satisfied with him being declared the Democratic nominee on 2 occasions by the local Board of Elections. However, it is well expected, I do not have it confirmed as of yet, but expected that we will have an appeal on some sort on behalf of Charles Doc Harden, McGoffin County Judge Executive. It's also understood that all of the materials, machines, ballots, and everything else is still under the possession or in the possession of the Kentucky State Police. We have no information on any inquiry or investigation or anything ongoing in that respect. There was also no time to speak directly to either one of the candidates or anyone else in the matter today, but we will have a follow-up soon. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed my time, with the exception of a very brief Licking Valley RECC forecast, which has really no significant change. Just scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the evening, mainly before 2 a.m., some patchy fog after 3 a.m., otherwise mostly cloudy throughout the overnight in a low of 65 degrees, and I'll catch up with the weather there in just a second. That patchy fog will continue into the morning up until about 9. We'll see showers and thunderstorms likely, mainly after 2, mainly like today. Otherwise, partly sunny, mid-80s. We could see, and some folks will see, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rainfall throughout all these showers and thunderstorms. Tonight, tomorrow, and into your Saturday, still lingering a 40% chance of showers, thunderstorms, partly sunny skies, and a high of 84. The latter half of your weekend looks to be a little more calm with a 20% chance. Well, starting off with a 20 to 30% chance on your Sunday and winding down, not going away, but that chance of showers and thunderstorm continues Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But temperatures are going to continue to fall. We'll see the low 80s by next week, and that will be a welcome change with the not-so-welcome showers and thunderstorms that are possible. Once again, thank you so much for being a part of the program. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.